All right, just got out of the theater seeing Dolly, brand new movie by Rod Blackhurst with Sean William Scott, Ethan Suplee, and Fabian Therese, or Taraz. I can never remember how to say her name. Didn't like it. Which I hate to say that because a lot of the movie reviewers and early screening reviews that I had seen were really hyping this up as a really good mixture of Texas Chainsaw and Barbarian. And to be fair, from the previews and trailers, that's really what it looked like. So I did go into this with probably a lot higher of expectations than I should have had. And sadly, I was severely let down even from that. So I'll go over a couple of things that I did like. I did enjoy the cinematography. I think it had a really cool aesthetic of modern, really high-tech, really clean shots. And then it did mix in a lot of grit and a lot of that almost grindhouse that you would expect from something that's even remotely related to Texas Chainsaw. And I appreciated that. It was enough to make it uncomfortable in some spots where you can't really get comfortable enough to think, oh, this is a clean movie where it's going to have, you know, all of the newer tropes, all of the newer, you know, things as far as cinematography. But then it pulls you right back to the 70s. And, you know, when Leatherface is ripping that door open, knocking that dude in the head, ripping him, you know, pulling him inside. It's a really good mixture of that. I did appreciate that a lot. And sadly, that is about it. I really wish that I could leave this saying a lot more nice things about this movie. Now, I'm going to give some spoilers here. But as you can see from the thumbnail, it is basically every single horror movie trope that you can imagine jumbled into one movie. And it is so disappointing because it does absolutely nothing different. So you start off, you've got this couple, they're going in the woods. All right, whatever. It's kind of hard to come up with too many different things that people can do in life. So going into the woods, whatever. They're going to get married. Sean William Scott wants to marry his girlfriend. And they have a brief mention of parenting. He's got a daughter. She doesn't want anything to do with being a mom, but she loves him. Could go somewhere interesting there, but it doesn't develop really at all. That's supposed to be the theme, and it does not expand upon that. Spoiler alert. That goes nowhere. It also does this weird thing. I really didn't like how, ever since Weapons came out, it seems like a lot of movies want to break things up into chapters and in sections. Not only do I feel like that served absolutely no purpose, but I feel like it spoiled a lot as well. So a lot of the things, a lot of the couple of characters that you do get in this movie are literally spoiled by the words, like the names of the chapter. And I think that was a really pointless and honestly just a stupid idea that served absolutely no purpose, and it only made any suspension of curiosity and what's going to happen next almost completely gone. This movie did a very strange job of tension. You know, you would think that in this movie that there would be at least a couple of, and I hate to say it, but like scary moments, like jump scares. The sound for the movie was so odd. See, you kind of have the killer with it. I'm sorry, I'm kind of jumping around. It'll tie together. You kind of have the killer who's got this weird breathing thing throughout the whole movie. You're just kind of hearing. It doesn't explain that at all. She's also doing this weird thing with her hands. No explanation. And I'm not saying that everything needs an explanation, but what made Barbarian specifically work is that it took a good chunk of the movie, 10, 15 minutes with Richard Brake's character and all, and it actually explains who she is. Just enough to get you an idea. Okay, this is why she exists. This is why. We already know why she's scary, but what makes her even scarier is what we don't know. Like, we see this happen, and now she's here. What happened in that middle? Oh my God, she's a monster. And this is, you know, where we are now. And it's, you know, and it brings it together nicely. It gives you a reason to kind of pull and tug on, is she absolutely a monster, or is she a monster that was created from a worse monster? And I liked that dynamic. And I think that's what made the movie work. It was terrifying, but you got a reason. This movie gives you nothing. Apparently her mom died. Doesn't tell you how, doesn't tell you why. There's no connections. There's a brief little 5-sentence thing at the beginning talking about how a mom wanted a daughter or something. I forgot exactly, but it makes no reference to that again. It's just a theme of a mother wanting a kid. And that could go somewhere if there was a story. Instead, all you get is Sean William Scott looking handsome as ever, doing his thing, but is essentially bland and pointless. He immediately becomes incapacitated to a degree that you know there's no coming back from it. The dude is not going to walk again. The guy is not going to speak properly again. He can utter a couple of words and then basically he's going to die. You know he's toast from the very beginning, which really put a sour taste in my mouth. You know, Scream can do that with Drew Barrymore. It's just one of those things that, like, that's bringing a big name actor in, shoehorning them in as this main character in the movie, and then immediately sidelining them just for the shock factor. It's not going to work anymore. You're going to really need to do something different to make that work, and they just don't do it here. Now, I will say it was gnarly what happened to him, and I will say that when he tries to stand up, when you inevitably find out that he is still alive from that initial attack, that was one moment that got a real wince out of me. That was like, oh my Lord, I can feel that. And I think everybody's going to have that same reaction, but that's about it. There is a couple of gross out moments. And I feel like if you were to mix those in with some truly scary moments, you could have had a very terrifying film with a seriously solid killer. But instead, now we get into what the whole thumbnail is about. Tropes beyond belief. How many times are you going to hit this bitch in the head and leave her? How many times are you going to hit her with your car and not run her over? How many times are you going to try to look for a ring on her finger and reach for it, but not chop her freaking head off first? Like, it's not that difficult. You're already in a terrifying position. Your adrenaline is rushing. You've already knocked her down. Just finish the damn job. You don't have to see Zombieland to know that a double tap is necessary to alleviate the danger. Trusting people. There's one other character that is obviously insane. I understand initially not realizing, okay, is this a good person or a bad person, and wanting some help. But again, it just goes from, okay, should I trust him? No, I should not trust him. He's dead. It's stupid. It doesn't explain anything. The guy, Ethan Suplee, or Suplee, however the hell you say his name, he's fine. He's a big guy. I like him in real life. I like him as an actor. Nothing against him. But he's pointless in this movie. For about 5 minutes, it tries to go the route of, okay, this is the real monster. Now let's make this doll lady not as bad. It goes nowhere. Okay, so he's dead. Now we're back to the same position. There's absolutely zero character growth. I cannot stress that enough. Nobody goes to these movies for the most part for seeing character growth, but you want a little bit of it. You want to have a reason for rooting for somebody. The guy with the daughter is basically dead at the beginning. The only lady alive, you know nothing about her except she doesn't want her boyfriend's kid in her life. How is that enough of a reason to root for her? The killer is obviously played by some sort of mixture. I looked it up. It's some non-binary wrestler, guy, girl. It's clearly some sort of ridiculously strong human, I'll say that. And so whenever anything happens, you would clearly understand that that is going to be a chance you must take, because you'll never be able to take this monster of a person on in a fist fight. And so the amount of times that this killer gets knocked down and clearly is ready for the kill, it's just insane. Like, you've seen this 1,000 times. It is absolutely no different here. You get a pointless subplot at the very last second of a stupid cop who's listening to some music that throws things off for a little bit, tries to put you in a place of, complacency, just to take it away from you. You know what's coming. for the love of God, this cop is standing there. He's told about this monster in the woods. He senselessly gets on his walkie-talkie and slowly tells other people that the story is coming up again. Oh, there's somebody telling me about a lady in a mask. Your headphones are off. You are standing there. She is literally right behind you. Loud steps, loud breathing, with a shovel in her hand. You are being screamed at in the car that she is right behind you for like 30 seconds and not a single... I'd turn around when there's a freaking fart in the wind, dude. There is no way. Like, the amount of believability in this movie is just insane. Then you get a huge tonal shift at the end where she starts going na boo boo for no reason. It doesn't explain it. It doesn't give you any reason on why she wants this girl to play along with this mommy daughter kind of relationship. It is absolutely pointless. The ending is completely stupid. I mean, I literally left the movie theater. There were promo for Scream 7, which was abysmal. I hated it. And then I went down a rabbit hole on the way home of listening to recaps of the Scream movies and tier lists of like the Scream killers. I completely forgot about this movie by the time I get home. The only reason I'm doing it is because I want to start a YouTube channel. I want people to watch and hear my opinion on movies and give theirs, because I love horror. I love movies and I love talking about them. And I legitimately completely forgot about this movie. I mean, I am having to re-rack my brain on the steps that led to, start to finish in that movie. And it's only been like an hour and a half since I've seen it. The movie is absolutely pointless. There is trope after trope, absolutely zero redeeming qualities. The killer looks okay, but again, with zero explanation on why she is the way she is, with no backstory whatsoever, and basically almost no kills at all that redeem it as far as being like a torture porn kind of, well, not torture porn, but like a gore fest kind of movie. Like I said, what happens to Sean William Scott, it's shocking, it's gnarly, and there is a couple of gross out moments. But the sound design makes the scares not scary. Everything is completely predictable, and the moment this movie starts, you know exactly how it's going to end. So the movie's trash. If you want to hear more, I watch a lot of movies, and I'll try to hop on here and talk about them more. So let me know if you like the movie or not. If there's anything out this month that you think I should see that you want to see me review, and I'll talk to you.